Hello and welcome. Today guys, I want to share with you all a recipe that I recently had at Crave. I had salmon lasagna there. It was so delicious. It also reminded me of a jackfish lasagna with saffron that I had in the Maldives. So I wanted to recreate this and make it my version for you guys. So here I have a piece of salmon with the skin removed. And all I'm going to do is season this with some Cajun seasoning. I'm not adding any salt to this because this Cajun seasoning has a lot of salt in it. So you're going to season this liberally on both sides with the Cajun seasoning. Next, you're going to add some lemon pepper to this. And you're going to add this lemon pepper to both sides also. And all you do now is go in with your hands and massage that seasoning into the fish. Once you've mixed in all of the seasonings, just set this aside for 5 minutes and allow it to marinate. Okay, while the salmon is marinating, I'm going to put up a pot of water to heat up. What I like to do is boil my lasagna sheets. I'm not using the ready-to-use lasagna sheets. You can use that if you wanted to. I'm going to put up the water to heat up. Once it comes up to a boil, I'm going to throw in the lasagna sheets, allow it to soften and get pliable, and we'll set that. Okay, so the water has come up to a boil. I'm just going to lightly salt the water. I have here 9 lasagna sheets that I'm going to place into the boiling water. And I'm only going to allow these to boil for about 5 minutes until they become very pliable. Okay, so the lasagna sheets are right where I want them to be, nice and pliable. Now I'm just going to take these out and place them into another bowl. To the lasagna sheets, I'm going to drizzle with a little bit of oil. And you just want to toss it to make sure that both sides are coated. And once it's coated in that oil, you're just going to set this aside. You're going to put up another pot. And to that pot, you're going to add in some oil. Now we're going to cook that fish. And guys, if you wanted to use a different type of fish for this, a fillet of maybe tilapia, whatever type of fish you want to use for this, you can. Once the oil comes up to temperature, you're going to add in your piece of salmon. I'm just going to give this a flip. Ooh. You see that nice crusty exterior that it has? That's what you want. You don't want the fish to steam, but that is going to give this fish so much flavor. Okay, so the salmon is finished. What I'm going to do is leave it to cool down a little bit. I'm going to take 2 forks and I'm going to flake this fish up because I want it to be nice and flaky so we can layer it into the lasagna. I'm just going to move ahead now to doing that and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the fish, I flaked it up, I set it aside. You're going to put up another pot and you're going to add some oil to the pot and you're going to put this up on medium heat. I'm also going to add in a piece of golden ray into that. Once melted, I'm going to go in with some chopped pimento, or you can use a Fresno chili, some chopped celery, and I have chopped these pretty fine. You don't want to chop them too big. And some finely shredded carrots. I'm just going to season with a little bit of salt, because remember that golden ray has salt in it. And if you don't have golden ray, you can use a salted butter or you can use mellow cream. And I'm adding in some black pepper. And all you do now is saute until this is tender. Okay, so this is finished. I'm just going to take this out and add it to the pot that I have the fish in. To the same pot we sauteed the vegetables in, I put in 3 tablespoons of butter. I just want this butter to melt. Now we're going to create a white sauce for this lasagna. To the melted butter, I'm going to add in some flour, and this flour is going to help thicken this cheese sauce. You just want to mix that in, and make sure your heat is on low because you don't want to burn this. You want to cook that flour, that raw flour, out for a couple of seconds. Okay, once you've cooked out that raw flour, you're going to add in milk, and I'm using whole milk or stay fresh milk. I'm going to add in a pinch of turmeric powder. We call turmeric powder saffron powder in Trinidad, or if you wanted to use some saffron threads, you can. I'm adding in some white pepper and some garlic powder. Just give this a mix to combine. I can smell that turmeric in there. Now I'm going to add in the cheese, and you can use any type of cheese you want. I am using a blend of pepper jack cheese and cheddar cheese. So just mix that in until the cheese melts and this sauce is thick and creamy. So guys, now it's time to assemble. I went ahead and I mixed in the veggies into the flaked fish. Here I have my sauce, and I tasted it and adjusted it with a little salt to taste. So make sure you do that. And here I have my lasagna sheets. So I'm just going to switch. I'm going to start by layering one layer of lasagna sheets on the bottom of this baking dish. To that layer of lasagna, to this I'm going to add in a layer of sauce. And now I'm going to go in with a layer of fish. Now another layer of lasagna goes on top of the fish. Another layer of sauce. Now I'm going to put in the last layer of fish. And now I'm going to finish off with that last layer of lasagna. Now I'm going to finish off with some cheese sauce. Now this step is optional, but just to gild the lily and make this really creamy and cheesy, I'm going to just put in a few slices of pepper jack cheese on the top. Next, this goes into my oven at 350 degrees until it's brown. So guys, the lasagna took 30 minutes in the oven. It just came out and it's very hot. You need to allow this to cool down and set up before you can cut into it. If you were to cut into it now, it's just going to fall apart. So once it cools down, I'll cut into it and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so now that the lasagna has cooled down, I'm going to cut into it so you guys can see. So guys, here you have it, salmon lasagna. If you guys wanted to make this with the canned tuna, you can. I can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. It's so delicious. If you guys enjoyed today's recipe, please remember to give the video a thumbs up and to share it with your friends. If you're new to my channel and you like what you see, I hope you subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all another day with another one of my recipes. Enjoy!